Okay. This is Einar Sørby at Unity Center Web TV. Today we got Gary Mannion here. It's a great guy from England, and he's working with psychic surgery. And I want him to tell me a little bit how that works.
Psychic surgery, so it's non-invasive psychic surgery. So when I work, I don't cut skin, but I do see and feel hands go into the body.
You see?
I see and feel hands going into the body.
You feel the hands going into, okay.
And then I see and feel everything that they're doing. So I see all the little tools and cutting and scraping and all the rest of it. At the same time, people often feel stuff happening inside their bodies.
But stop a bit. You're fast.
Sorry.
Who's the people helping you then?
So I've got a guide in the spirit world called Abraham, and he has a team of surgeons and doctors that work with him. So they will administer the treatment through me as the channel.
Yes. It's fantastic. Okay, but do you feel what they're doing?
Normally, yeah. What will happen is when I work, they'll take control of my physical hands. To me, my physical hands will feel like pins and needles. At the same time, I see and feel these additional hands going in, doing what they need to do. And often the person will feel these hands inside them and tools inside them.
So the patient also feels what's happening?
Quite often the patient will feel everything that's going on. It's not painful, but it's an awareness. Sometimes it can be a bit uncomfortable, but it doesn't hurt.
Wow. This is only kind of energy. But to get people understand what people that doesn't believe in these things do, the proof is, of course, that the clients get well.
The proof is in the pudding, as we say. Yeah. But all my work is scientifically documented.
Okay.
And overall, we have about a 90% success rate. So 90% of the people we treat are getting the results they're looking for, and some even having conditions that medically should be impossible to get better.
Okay, it's fantastic. It sounds. It's for me also. It's very unbelievable. I'm going to look at you this evening.
Please do, yeah.
See how it works. But where did you get these abilities?
For me, I've been psychic all my life, and then just under 6 years ago, I was invited to Manchester to teach psychic development. While I was there, the group I was teaching asked me to do some spiritual healing with them. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. So I went to do some normal spiritual healing, and literally just felt this very strong presence behind me, and started seeing these hands go into the body and operating. And so that it kind of found me. I never expected it. I never wanted to be a healer. Yeah. It really came out of the blue.
Wow.
It's one of those things that in somewhere like Brazil or the Philippines, it's very big. In the Western world, there's only a handful of us.
Yes, we have to. I think it's more because people really don't believe it. It's not too many people going to because this is fake. But it's you still hear about lots of fakes going on.
Sadly, it is an industry where you have a lot of fakes, which is why I think it's very important to have the scientific testing to prove that it does work. And we're trying to get as many medical-minded people on board, as well as skeptics, because we do live in a world where there is a lot out there, some not as good as it should be, and so people want evidence, want proof.
Yes. How do you do this scientific work?
It's through two organisations based in Scotland. So they will keep track of clients that I treat. They'll have their own clients. Where possible, they'll get medical records, and they'll see how those clients do over a couple of years, up to 5 years now, and see if they're still well, what result we've had.
Yes. You have a good story. One of the most that you yourself was surprised worked. Do you have any stories?
There's quite a few. One would be, we had a 10-year-old girl who had been left blind by a brain tumour, and it basically, the radiotherapy destroyed the optic nerves, so she'd been told, you're never going to see again. While treating her, Abraham said, I can give vision to the right eye this time, left eye is going to take a bit more work. 3 days later she could see, she can still see, and she's a completely different girl. So that was a fantastic case, because medically she shouldn't have been able to see again. It should have been medically impossible.
But what do you really do then? You combine wires, nerves, and
it depends on the person and the treatment. It can be everything from physical manipulation, working with the nerves, the chemicals in the body, through to anything energetic, karmic, past life stuff. So we cover the whole kind of spectrum.
Okay, yeah.
And we do believe that anything physical has got an emotional root. So we do need to treat both those areas.
So you can also, when you treat people that has, one thing is very exciting is to talk about past life, things that come, problems in this life that comes from past life.
Yeah.
Do you have any examples for that?
Good example. So for example, it was often said, say, people who don't like their throat being touched, or a fear of water, it could be because they've either been hung or drowned in a past life, so they carry that fear over.
Yeah.
And you can do that with like leg problems. If they had a leg problem in a past life, this life they may have problems moving forward in their life because the energy around the leg isn't flowing properly because of what they brought in with them. As well as like things like genetics, inheritance, the amount of stuff we inherit from our parents and from our genes. So we need to really look at the whole picture when treating one condition.
And you see the whole picture, or your guides know about...
Normally we'll look for a physical, a trigger and a root. And we'll try and treat all those three areas.
But as I see it, is that all kind of illnesses, problems you have in this life, it comes from energy. Yeah. And then the energies go over to the body and makes the symptoms. Yes.
Yeah, we believe very much you have your energy field. When you don't deal with emotion, stress, it weakens the energy field in some area. And then you're more likely to develop a physical problem in that area.
Yes. Is that the same for cancer?
Cancer could be a factor of that. I mean, everyone's got cancer cells, they're just normal cells. For some reason, stress or whatever causes them to start to attack one another and form into cancer. So we all have that. So if we can create that, we should be able to heal that.
Yeah, but...
And we work with the basis that the body built itself. So given the right inspiration and stimulation, it should be able to repair itself.
Yeah, but still, let's see, if you have potential, you don't have cancer, but you have potential cancer. People they need to heal this, but then still they have to do some work by themselves.
Yeah, what we can try and do is we can try and condense that or bring it to the surface.
Yes.
So example we use is, say someone dies, 5 years later, every time when you think of them, you'll reduce the tears. All that's happening is you're only dealing with the surface stuff, which is why the emotion is still raw. What we would aim to do is bring that deep-rooted emotion to the surface. Probably means for a day or two you'll hate me a little bit, but then you'll be able to let that go. The next time you think of the person, it shouldn't reduce you to tears, because your body has dealt with that. Yeah.
But then the patient needs to know that they have to let the tears come.
Yeah,
they can't just close them behind the wall again.
Yeah, often we will warn people or give them an opinion on what we think is happening, and we do warn that that can come in anger, tears, laughter, all three at once, depending on how you release it.
Yeah. And this is important for all kinds of treatments.
Completely, yeah. Which is one problem with Western medicine, it only looks to treat symptoms, it doesn't look at the whole picture. Yeah. Which is why I think psychic surgery healing should work hand in hand with medical science.
Yes, of course. That's what we're dreaming of here at the center. They should combine and use the specialities in both areas. Yes, fantastic. What do you do in your normal life?
I do psychic surgery full time.
Okay.
I have 18 clinics.
Do you have any spare time?
Very rarely, for paperwork mainly. I mean, we work 7 days a week, pretty much 365 days a year. We have about 18 clinics in the UK, which I do on a regular basis, and then I travel the world constantly as well.
When are you coming back to Norway again?
I think I'm back in a few weeks' time actually. It could be a month or two. The best thing is to basically go GaryMannion.com, which is my website, and it will list everywhere I'm going to be, how to book.
They can book on your website.
Yeah, normally you'll find there's a number next to the date. You just call the number. They'll give you all the details.
GaryMannion.com?
GaryMannion.com, yeah.
Yes, but I know some people, I have a few here that wants to book.
Please do, yeah. It's a very quick treatment compared to, say, other therapies. Yeah. Most therapies that you'll normally expect an hour, we take about 10 to 15 minutes, which is actually still quite a long time for psychic surgery. Yeah. So it's a very quick but very effective treatment.
I also usually ask all the people that I interview, do you have any message to the world, to people? What do you want the world to be like? What do you mean people can do to make a good world?
I think the biggest message I'd put across to do with my work is basically taking responsibility for yourself. I mean, so many people will go to a doctor and want a pill for everything,
Yes.
or want an immediate cure for everything, rather than deal with it themselves. So, for example, I've seen many people who are told you're not going to get better by their doctor. Because they've been told that, they never progress. And yet I've seen time and time again where people are told that, they don't believe it, and they get better. So we all have the power to heal ourselves. So the main thing is taking that responsibility. While we keep giving that power away to doctors who we're supposed to trust, then we're never going to allow ourselves to get better, because we're never taking responsibility for it.
That's the placebo effect you're talking about.
And not just the placebo effect, but just to enable the body to heal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you keep taking antibiotics, it's going to lower your immune system, which is never going to allow your body to recover itself. So if you actually dealt with it yourself or naturally, then you could actually build your body back up. But I mean, even people nowadays are too clean. We don't know how to fight infection because we're killing off.
We're sterile. Yes, Gary is having clients now, so we have to let him go, but
Busy,
I
isn't it?
hope very much you're coming back.
Definitely, I'll be back soon.
Yeah, welcome back to Unity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.